Hello and welcome. This is Safe Sleep, Best Practices in Talking to Caregivers, a webinar presented by Kids in Danger. Here's an overview of what we'll be talking about today. We're going to start with an introduction to KID and an overview of safe sleep by the numbers. Next, we'll define safe sleep. Then we will outline how to discuss specific safe sleep practices and potential hazards with caregivers. Lastly, we discuss additional resources that you can use and recommend to caregivers. Let's start by thinking about safe sleep in your own work. What have you noticed about the sleep environments you have seen? Have you ever had a difficult conversation with a parent or caregiver about safe sleep for their infant? What are some of the challenges that have come up? Keep these thoughts in mind as we proceed through the webinar. Kids in Danger was founded by Linda Ginzel and Boaz Kazar after the death of their son Danny in 1998. Danny died in his Chicago child care facility when his Playschool portable travel-light crib collapsed around his neck, strangling him. At first, his parents thought that this was a tragic but isolated accident. However, further research showed that Danny was the crib's fifth victim, and in total 19 children died in cribs of this design. This crib was actually recalled in 1993, 5 years prior to Danny's death, but no one at the facility was aware of the recall, including the state inspector who had visited the facility just 2 weeks prior to Danny's death. As anyone who cares for children or has children knows, portable cribs are just one of many sleep-related products that parents and caregivers use to care for their children, and they are just one of many sleep products that may prove dangerous. Every year, more than 3,500 babies die as a result of sudden unexpected infant death, or SUID. After the Back to Sleep campaign in the 1990s, which recommended infants be put to sleep on their backs, sleep-related deaths declined. However, those numbers have plateaued in recent years, and still far too many children are dying in sleep-related incidents. Unfortunately, great racial disparities also exist in the number of infants dying due to SUID. In particular, rates of SUID in American Indian or Alaskan Native and African American infants are between 2 to 3 times higher than rates of SUID among Caucasian infants. We are not sharing these numbers with you to scare you. Rather, we believe that action and awareness can help change these numbers and save lives. So, what is sudden unexpected infant death, or SUID? Sudden unexpected infant death, or SUID, refers to the death of an infant less than 1 year of age that occurs suddenly and unexpectedly, and whose cause of death is not immediately obvious before medical history review, death scene investigation, and autopsy. You might have heard a lot about sudden infant death syndrome, or SIDS, when talking about safe sleep. SIDS is included in the definition of SUID, along with accidental suffocation or strangulation in bed, and other deaths with no known cause. Unfortunately, there are many things that we still do not understand about why SUID and SIDS affect some children and not others. However, there are some factors that are under our control, those relating to infant sleep environments. Those external risk factors are where we, as educators, can impact caregivers' behavior and prevent sleep-related deaths. Now that we've outlined the sleep-related hazards facing infants, let's define what we mean when we say safe sleep. When we talk about safe sleep, we are specifically talking about safe sleep for babies 1 and under. Oftentimes, safe sleep messaging can be overwhelming for caregivers. We find that it is often easier to show safe sleep than it is to describe it. Here we have 2 pictures of a safe sleep environment. Take a moment now to think about what you see in these pictures and what you do not see in these pictures. What you see is a baby alone in a crib. There is nothing else in the crib besides a mattress and a tight-fitting mattress sheet. What you don't see in these pictures are any type of accessory, including sleep aids. You also don't see decorations such as crib bumper pads, stuffed animals, or pillows and blankets. You will also notice that the baby has its own sleep space. It is not sharing a couch, bed, or other surface with any other family member. In the image on the right, you can also see that this baby is wearing a wearable blanket or sleep sack, but is not overdressed. We will talk more later about potential hazards that are sometimes introduced into the sleep environment, but know that these images represent what you are looking for when evaluating an infant's sleep environment. Safe sleep can be an overwhelming topic, both for parents and for service providers who work with parents or caregivers. Here we have boiled down the key points into kids' statement of safe sleep. A baby sleeps safest in a crib, play yard, or bassinet that hasn't been recalled and meets the federal standard. The only product in the crib should be a tight-fitting mattress and a fitted sheet. Babies should be placed on their back and wear footed pajamas or wearable blankets. When discussing safe sleep with parents, it can also be helpful to simplify the message further into the ABCs of safe sleep. When discussing safe sleep with parents or evaluating a sleep environment, remember the ABCs. 1. Baby is alone and has their own separate sleep space. 2. Baby is placed to sleep on their back. And 3. Baby sleeps in a crib, play yard, or bassinet that meets the federal standard. Caregivers need to follow the ABCs of safe sleep at every sleep time, including naps. Babies sleep off and on throughout the day, and they don't know the difference between a nap and nighttime sleep. Now that we've reviewed the definition of safe sleep, let's do a quiz. Safe sleep includes which of the following? A. Sleep in a crib, play yard, or bassinet that hasn't been recalled and meets the federal standard. B. Crib is empty except for a tight-fitting mattress and fitted sheet. C. Baby is placed to sleep on their back or side. Or D. Both A and B. If you selected answer D, that is correct. Babies should be placed on their back to sleep for every sleep time, including naps. Now that we've defined safe sleep, let's outline some specific safe sleep guidelines that parents should follow to reduce the risk of sudden, unexpected infant death. When you're discussing safe sleep with parents and caregivers, there are some factors that you want to look for. Firstly, babies should be placed to sleep on their backs for all sleep times, including naps. Next, babies should be sleeping on a firm sleep surface, whether that is a crib, play yard, or bassinet. Room sharing is recommended. Talk to caregivers about having babies sleep surface in the same room. Finally, some parents are concerned that infants will not get enough tummy time if they are placed on their backs to sleep. Do not confuse sleep time with tummy time. Infants should engage in tummy time during their waking hours. Caregivers should also be aware that some factors can increase the risk of sudden unexpected infant death. In the previous slide, we mentioned the importance of room sharing. However, we need to distinguish between the AAP recommendation for room sharing, for an infant's sleep space to be in the same room as their parents or caregivers, and bed sharing. Room sharing has been recommended by the AAP as a way to reduce the risk of SUIDS. However, bed sharing can greatly increase the risk of death or injury due to suffocation or overlaying. Although putting infants to sleep in an adult bed is unsafe, other sleep surfaces such as couches, chairs, air mattresses, strollers, etc. can be much worse. These surfaces are soft and uneven, creating the potential for an infant to get trapped between the couch or chair cushions or against a non-breathable surface and suffocate. In our statement of safe sleep, we mentioned the importance of choosing sleep environments that meet federal standards. As far as safe sleep environments go, these are the dates you need to know. Help caregivers choose cribs that were manufactured on or after June 28, 2011, play yards that were manufactured on or after February 28, 2013, and bassinets that were manufactured on or after April 14, 2014. Products manufactured on or after these dates meet the strongest current standards. So, what does this mean for caregivers? When evaluating the safety of a sleep environment, check the manufacture date, not the date of sale. So, if a play yard was purchased in 2015, it may not meet current standards. It's also important to check all products, but especially sleep-related products for recalls. Cribs, bassinets, play yards that are otherwise safe can be recalled, but inherently unsafe products like crib bumper pads can also be recalled. It may be the sleep surface itself, sleep accessories, or items surrounding the sleep space that make it unsafe. Often, recalled products do not necessarily look dangerous. Even if a product is otherwise safe, like a crib mattress, the recall itself could make that product unsafe. We recommend that caregivers check all products for recalls at cpsc.gov. Unfortunately, many stores still sell and advertise products that go against current safe sleep recommendations. The products pictured here, sleep aids, crib alternatives, and more, are unsafe to use with the sleeping baby but are still available to purchase or get secondhand. It can be difficult to discuss safe sleep with caregivers when many safe sleep recommendations go against what they see in stores, on TV, or on social media. Here we have outlined some guidelines that you can use to help caregivers avoid unsafe sleep products. As we have mentioned in previous slides, avoid products that contain extra padding, soft surfaces, or heavy covering, as these can lead to suffocation or overheating. Some manufacturers advertise products to caregivers that would allow them to safely co-sleep or would reduce the risk of SIDS. In fact, these products have not been tested, and we do not know if they make bed sharing any safer. Also, any marketing claim of SIDS reduction is false. Only the ABCs of safe sleep can reduce the risk of SIDS. Though this type of marketing might be very appealing to parents, we have to remember that it is a false and misleading claim. We know that cords from baby monitors, window coverings, drawstrings, etc., pose an entanglement and strangulation hazard for infants and for older children. To prevent these types of injuries and deaths, keep the sleep environment free from cords of all types. We also know that babies should not be restrained while sleeping. This recommendation applies to car seats, strollers, and any other products with restraints. Products intended for sleep should have sides high enough to contain the baby safely without the need for restraints. Now that we've discussed sleep product hazards, let's do another quiz. What products are safe to use with a sleeping baby? A. Crib bumper pads. B. Blankets and pillows. C. A crib made after June 28, 2011 that has not been recalled. Or D. Products that promote safe co-sleeping or reduce the risk of SIDS. If you selected C, that is correct. Of all the products listed there, a crib that hasn't been recalled and meets the federal standard is the only product safe to use with a sleeping baby. We just shared a lot of information with you, so we wanted to provide a few resources that you can turn to for additional information or recommend to parents. The first is cpsc.gov. Caregivers can use cpsc.gov to check their sleep products or other children's products for recalls. Saferproducts.gov is a consumer safety database where you can report injuries or incidents with an unsafe product. These reports often inform the recall process and alert manufacturers about an issue with a product. Product registration is the only way that manufacturers are required to alert consumers in the event of a recall. Caregivers can register durable products such as cribs with the manufacturer. Product registration cards come with new products, but it is also possible to register products online. Visit the KID website to access a list of online product registration sites for major manufacturers. The safe sleep guidelines outlined in this webinar are based on current research and recommendations from the American Academy of Pediatrics. The AAP continues to update these guidelines as new research becomes available, and all current guidelines are available at their website, www.aap.org. We're so glad that you joined us today to learn more about safe sleep and how to discuss safe sleep with parents and caregivers. The conversation does not have to end here. Please consider connecting with KID online. As you can see, we are active on all major social media sites, and we also update our blog about once a week with stories related to safe sleep and product safety. Thank you again for joining us today. We hope that this webinar provided you with the tools you need to promote safe sleep practices among parents and caregivers. If you have a question or would like additional information, please feel free to contact us using the contact information you see here. Thank you for your commitment to keeping all children safe.